Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Cat and Sam show. I'm Sam. I was going to say I'm Cat then.
Well,
I'm
you're a darn
Sam.
pretty cat if you're me.
Oh, wow. Meow. Oh, you're
Excuse me?
beautiful.
What?
You
Oh,
beautiful
my.
pussycat.
The two of us. It's a good thing we don't live next door to each
It
other.
does. It does. Oh, goodness
In
help
the
everybody if we did.
present.
In the present, yes, which is what we were going to talk about today, which is so we did a video on Christmas past, and we're going to do one on Christmas present. And I was thinking about this and sort of present Christmases, and I think when you've been through and have experienced domestic abuse and violence in all its forms, um, I think your Christmas has become a bit of a different thing. I think you have to relearn. I don't know about you, but it was almost like I had to relearn how to have fun. I had to relearn. I had all of these old traditions and stuff from when I'd been growing up, and they were really fun and silly and everything, and had been squished. And Christmas was it never had that sort of free, joyous feeling. Whilst I was with the abuser, but it was sort of remembering that I could do these things again. But then it developed, and I developed new traditions as well to kind of over. I do just need to check something. Hang on. I think that might be my car alarm. Oh, no, it's not me. Sorry about that. I just didn't want my battery going flat, especially in a Christmas present. So, anyway, where was I? Yeah, Christmas present. So it was like there was this sort of freedom, and I didn't quite know what to do with it. Did you experience that?
Yeah, I mean, I got to go back to, like, it's interesting because you think about, like, when we talked about Christmas past, there's an element of happiness. I wouldn't call it joy, but I would call it happiness,
Yeah.
because that's the realms that they take you in, which is really low and then higher. And so
Mm.
there was those, but I think that, um, when I got free of everything, I was able to just have joy in having, um, Christmas, and
Mm.
playing and doing the things that, there was some freedom in that, and there was some relief in not having the fights and things that happened in the car rides,
That's
and
what I was
on the
going.
way to and from, and all of that, which, I think the car is like the worst place for so many people, because you can't
Mm.
go anywhere, and you're kind of stuck in
No.
those realms. And
Yeah, and if you're taken away, there was a set thing we had to do every Christmas, and it's like, but it was actually what you were saying before. Um, I was thinking was actually
yeah,
peace.
yeah, yeah.
I think post abuse, the thing that really struck me the most and is almost the thing that matters the most now is peace. It's peaceful, it's gentle, it's easy, it's just that peace. Um, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Um, it might seem even a bit boring to other people, do you know what I mean? That, didn't do the kind of, whole, because I don't know if you had this, but there's a whole sort of like parading to outsiders of, what wonderful things, gifts you've been given that, are probably going to cause you a rash, or, or you just you look stupid in because it's the wrong size or whatever. So that kind of humiliation and like I say, sort of presenting but what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking projecting outwards, rather than it just sort of, whilst there's sort of this sort of hate and everything that Christmas isn't and shouldn't be, sort of is actually what's at the core and what is going on behind the scenes. But yeah, just peace and ease. These wonderful
I can recall.
words.
I mean, like you're talking about just the weaponizing of presents. Who thinks that you can weaponize presents? It's like, oh, you can weaponize presents.
I don't know, and it sounds ridiculous, and it sounds, because it's like, oh well, you're just being ungrateful. But then, and it took me a while. Actually, it probably took me a couple of Christmases afterwards to realise that they were done to enjoy our discomfort, and having to say, and sort of like saying thank you, or this is wonderful. So there's humiliation in there. There's so many things in that of giving something that isn't right for somebody or whatever. We all make mistakes. We all get something that somebody doesn't like and you think, oh my God, and that's fine. You re-gift it. But the deliberate element of this to make you, to humiliate you, to discomfort you, to do all of those. It's like, the last thing that they want to do is give you a present that you might actually like. But I can remember having to say, oh, thank you, that's brilliant, that's really lovely. And thinking, God, if I wear it, it's going to make my, ears bleed or something.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's like, but yeah, if you try describing that to somebody, it sounds ridiculous.
I mean, the best word, right, is a German word, Freudenschade. Freudenschade? It was actually on The Simpsons. Lisa corrected Homer when Homer was talking terrible about God, what's his name? Flanders. When he was talking about Flanders, he goes, oh, Dad, that's Freudenschade. Which it's a German word which translates to having joy in another's misfortune or downfall. Freudenschade. I'm sure I'm just chopping up that word because that's what I do. But it really is.
I know the word. I know the word you mean.
It really is what narcissists do. They enjoy coming in and taking the joy. And actually, it's taking the joy. It translates to joy in another's misfortune. Actually, I'm using that wrong because it takes it's taking joy in another's misfortune, but they're the ones causing it.
Yeah, so that's where they get their joy from. So whereas we get our joy from giving and making somebody else happy, their joy comes from the complete opposite. And using those same tools. So I suppose you could say it's the flip side of the same coin.
You can, but really? I mean,
or in a mirror, the mirror image. But
what it just occurred to me is when we're looking outside, like, I don't know, if somebody you don't like or don't care for has misfortune, and you're like, yeah, they deserve it, and you kind of have that little like, I'm gonna eat on, I don't like to do that. Yeah, I don't like to do that, but I mean, I can remember, being like, they deserve it. they were mean to me and they deserve it. But I don't think I didn't take joy in it.
No, I think that's the weird thing. There is a joy. I mean, the sort of the smile on his face, and it wasn't a happy smile. It was a smirk. It's more of a smirk of there's a certain expression, and it's the same expression that you see drawn on pictures or in films or something when you've got say a child who's pulling the legs off a spider, where there's this kind of there's a vindictiveness in that smile that is you just cannot miss, Cause I mean, what I used to think sort of like, why would you keep doing that?
Well,
I mean, it took me, like I say, it took me a couple of Christmas to go, oh, that's why. God. Oh. And you're right, that is where their joy comes from, which is a very, very different place from your average, healthy, normal human. I don't like the word normal, but you know what I mean. Average, healthy human being.
Well, it just there was an interesting I'm trying to think of the name of it. Now I'm trying to find it because I'm like, what is that? Nope, that's not it. If you feel pain, you're alive. If you feel others' pain, you are a human being. Leo Tolstoy. And I was thinking about that. If you feel pain, you're alive. If you feel other people's pain, you're a human being.
But, and I'm not one to, sort of question Tolstoy, obviously. So, but in their scenario, if you feel someone's pain, you're a human being. But what about if you then enjoy
right, and
that
that's what I mean. If you feel pain, you're alive. So obviously they feel pain. But they take joy in the other person's pain. So are they really a human being? Because and I know it's a play with words, but I'm thinking of the word being, and I'm like, they're not being.
No.
They're doing. They're a human doing.
Yeah. They are a human. I like that. A human doing. And funny enough, I was looking at it was how these things that you learn when you're starting to really learn what you've been in and learn about it and stuff, which is, and I saw another one. He's a fantastic chap actually for the White Ribbon. So 16 days of activism. And for White Ribbon, which is for men to stand up and say no more for women and girls and be part of the conversation and equation, actually do something. He's doing these little videos, and they're brilliant. They're tiny, but he was saying, don't listen to what somebody says. Look at what they do. That is the key to, am I being abused? Are they being abused? Whatever. Look at what somebody is doing as opposed to what they're saying. And I think in anybody's book, weaponizing presents at Christmas is not on the scale of a human being's kindness spectrum. There's nothing kind, there's nothing peaceful, there's nothing joyous, there's nothing happy in doing that repeatedly. That's the other thing, it's repeatedly. It's not just the odd thing, the comments about how much you eat at Christmas dinner or what you haven't cooked right, or yeah. And actually, quite often using their Christmas past to berate you about your Christmas now. So, say, you know, the bread sauce was never the same as their mum or their granny or whatever made it. Your turkey is drier than whoever made it. Your what's it?
That
You know,
comparison.
so use it, that comparison to use to berate you, that just came into my mind as well. So,
But I
yeah.
think, I think about people that are in those situations, and they have to come into, that whole thought process of being in the doing like a gray rock kind of thing, in being in the presence, and also come back to what you're feeling, and try to process that so you can get back in touch with who you are. So I hope this Christmas that you can find some time to be good and gentle to yourself.
And those, and those that you love, your children, because we forget, children do know these things and they aren't daft. But yes, a little bit of love and kindness, wherever you can take it, however you can take it, do in the present, in the here and now, and know that, there is, or there can be hope, and there can be
Well,
light, and there are services and stuff that people can reach out to.
and there's
You
people
know,
that are out there that are in the same situation you are in. So even if you can't move, you're not alone in your suffering.
just
There's people here that care.
yeah,
And so we hope that you have enjoyed our conversation. Sam and I do enjoy each other's conversations. And
we do. And if I could press your bell and your like, I would, Kat.
oh
Oh, you're ringing your bell. Oh no, you're missing it.
my Merry
There you
Christmas to
are.
all, and happy
Merry Christmas
holidays.
to all. We'll see you
Bye-bye.
soon.